Imagine waking up one morning and knowing that today, you'll only eat once. No breakfast sizzling on the stove. No light lunch to break the day. No dinner waiting at sunset. Just one single meal. At first glance, the idea might feel extreme, maybe even uncomfortable. After all, we've been taught since childhood that 3 meals a day is the gold standard of health. Skipping even one might seem reckless, especially as we get older. But what if that belief deserves a second look? What if buried deep within your body lies an ancient rhythm, long forgotten by modern habits, that was never meant to be interrupted by constant eating? For millions of years, our ancestors lived without refrigerators or snack aisles. They endured long stretches of hunger and learned to thrive in scarcity. Their survival wasn't based on eating frequently but on adapting to not eating at all. Today, our lives are defined by convenience. Food is everywhere, but our bodies haven't changed as quickly as our habits have. And now, science is starting to reveal something remarkable. The way we eat might be making us tired, inflamed, and out of sync with how we were meant to function. In this journey, we're going to explore what really happens when you eat only once a day. We'll uncover the science behind hunger, metabolism, and cellular repair. But more than that, we'll reconnect with a forgotten wisdom, a way of living that may hold surprising power for energy, clarity, and longevity. This isn't about starving. It's about listening to the body, letting it breathe, and perhaps discovering that true nourishment begins long before the first bite. The first few hours without food can feel surprisingly intense. Your stomach rumbles, your energy dips, and your thoughts begin circling the idea of eating. It's not just psychological. There's a biological alarm sounding quietly but persistently. One of the key players here is a hormone called ghrelin, often referred to as the hunger hormone. Ghrelin is produced primarily in the stomach and released when your body senses that food hasn't arrived as expected. It sends urgent messages to your brain, encouraging you to seek out calories. But here's what many people don't know: this early wave of discomfort isn't true hunger. It's routine being disrupted. Your body isn't starving. It's simply confused. Most of us have been conditioned to expect meals at specific times: breakfast at 8, lunch at noon, dinner at 6. These patterns are so deeply ingrained that even when the body doesn't need food, the mind and hormones still expect it. Studies from the University of Southern California have shown that ghrelin levels rise and fall, not purely based on nutritional need, but also based on habitual timing. It's your internal clock, not your energy reserves, that's calling the shots early on. But then something remarkable happens. After several hours, that growling quiets down. The mental fog begins to lift, and the craving you once felt so strongly fades. What's occurring inside your body is a shift in awareness. With no food coming in, your system begins to recalibrate. The body pauses, reassesses, and then pivots. Energy that was once focused on digesting now gets redirected toward optimizing what's already inside you. Hormone levels start to stabilize, your blood sugar evens out, and the initial panic turns into a kind of inner calm. This transition isn't accidental. It's built into your biology. When food was scarce, our ancestors couldn't afford to be sluggish or foggy. They needed clarity, focus, and alertness to find their next meal. That evolutionary advantage remains encoded in us today. So when you go hours without eating, you're not falling apart. You're tapping into that same ancient survival system. It's why so many people practicing intermittent fasting or 1 meal a day routines report feeling mentally sharper as the day progresses. What felt like deprivation slowly becomes transformation. Hunger is no longer an emergency. It becomes a signal, a doorway to something deeper. Your body begins to show you that it remembers how to wait, how to adapt, how to thrive even in the absence of constant fuel. And once you pass that first threshold, the real journey begins, not just into biological change, but into a new relationship with hunger itself. As the hours stretch on without food, something deeper begins to shift inside your body. Around 12 to 16 hours after your last meal, your system quietly initiates one of its most remarkable adaptations. It's called metabolic switching. This is when your body transitions from using glucose, the sugar found in most of the food you eat, to burning fat as its primary source of energy. This process doesn't feel dramatic on the surface, but underneath, it's a powerful recalibration. Normally, when you eat regularly, your body runs on a steady supply of glucose. The insulin released with each meal helps shuttle that sugar into your cells, giving you quick bursts of energy. But when you stop feeding it new glucose, the body shifts gears. Insulin levels drop, and instead of searching for more sugar, your cells begin unlocking fat reserves stored across your body. This is not a sign of starvation. It's a return to a natural rhythm. According to research published in the New England Journal of Medicine, this metabolic switch enhances energy efficiency and supports cellular repair. It's a key mechanism behind the benefits of intermittent fasting. By allowing insulin levels to rest, the body becomes more sensitive to it over time. This means it needs less insulin to manage the same amount of sugar, which can reduce the risk of insulin resistance, a condition closely tied to type 2 diabetes and weight gain. During this phase, the liver plays a crucial role. It begins breaking down fat into molecules called ketone bodies, which become the brain's new fuel. This shift isn't just about burning fat, it's about redefining how your entire system operates under pressure. Instead of relying on the next snack to keep going, your body learns to power itself from within. Many people describe this moment as a turning point. Fatigue starts to fade. Mental clarity improves. There's a sense of steadiness, a clean and consistent energy, unlike the sugar spikes and crashes that come from constant eating. From a scientific perspective, this fat-burning state isn't just efficient, it's healing. Lower insulin means lower inflammation, and that can impact everything from joint pain to brain fog. Researchers at Harvard Medical School have found that during metabolic switching, inflammation markers like CRP tend to decrease, and mitochondrial health improves. In simple terms, your cells start working better, more cleanly, and more in sync. So when you go long enough without food to trigger this shift, you're not depleting your energy, you're tapping into a reserve that your body has been saving for this exact moment. It's not punishment, it's permission. Permission for your biology to do what it was designed to do: adapt, adjust, and optimize in the absence of constant input. This is where fasting moves beyond willpower and enters the realm of resilience. As your body settles into fat-burning mode, a quieter and even more profound process begins beneath the surface. Somewhere between 18 and 20 hours into fasting, your cells begin a remarkable cleanup operation known as autophagy. The word comes from Greek, meaning self-eating, but what it really represents is cellular housekeeping at its finest. Damaged proteins, malfunctioning parts, and waste that has accumulated over time are broken down, recycled, and in many cases, repaired. This isn't just about staying lean. This is about staying functional at the deepest biological level. The discovery of autophagy's central role in human health was so important that Japanese scientist Yoshinori Ozumi was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 2016 for his work uncovering how this process works. Autophagy is one of the reasons why fasting has caught the attention of longevity researchers. When your body isn't busy digesting food every few hours, it finally has the time and space to shift its focus inward. Instead of constantly processing new inputs, it begins repairing what's already there. Think of it as your body's version of spring cleaning. Old, inefficient cells are dismantled, and in their place, new, healthier components are assembled. Over time, this deep cellular renewal can influence everything from how your skin looks to how your brain ages. And while you won't feel this process happening, science shows that it's making a real difference. According to studies from the National Institute on Aging, activating autophagy through fasting may help delay the onset of age-related diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and even certain cancers. That's because many of these conditions are linked to the buildup of damaged proteins and cellular waste. When autophagy is working properly, those harmful elements are regularly cleared out before they can cause trouble. It's the body's natural defense system against decay, and it works best when digestion isn't taking up all the bandwidth. This internal cleanup doesn't require expensive supplements or complicated routines. It only requires one thing: time. Time away from constant eating. Time to let the body shift from consumption to restoration. And the longer you remain in this fasting state, the deeper the repair goes. It's not about restriction. It's about rhythm. About giving your body space to do what it was designed to do. So as you move past the 20-hour mark without food, your stomach may be quiet, but inside, a symphony is playing. Cells are renewing. Inflammation is declining. Your body, once burdened by excess and routine, begins to remember a different mode of being, one built not on more, but on better. In this silence, healing speaks. And it says thank you for the pause. As the body quietly renews itself on the inside, something equally powerful begins to shift in the mind. At first, the emotional response to fasting can feel chaotic. Mood swings, irritability, and cravings are common in the early stages. These aren't just signs of low energy, they're the brain reacting to change. For most of us, eating has long been a source of comfort, routine, even emotional regulation. When that pattern is disrupted, the brain pushes back, but given time, something extraordinary starts to happen. The mental noise quiets, and a calm begins to settle in. One of the reasons for this shift is a remarkable protein called BDNF, short for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Fasting has been shown to increase the production of BDNF, which plays a key role in the growth of new neurons and the strengthening of existing ones. Researchers from the National Institutes of Health have found that higher levels of BDNF are linked to better memory, learning capacity, and resilience to stress. In other words, fasting doesn't weaken the brain, it trains it. Many people who adopt one-meal-a-day routines describe this phase as a return to clarity. Thoughts become more focused. Emotions stabilize. The roller coaster of sugar highs and crashes begins to fade. It's as if the mind, no longer distracted by the constant pursuit of satisfaction, finds stillness. Hunger becomes less of a threat, and more of a teacher. A signal that you're in control not just of your body, but of your choices, your habits, and your inner state. And in that mental space, something rare appears: peace, sharpened by simplicity. By now, it's clear that eating once a day can trigger powerful changes inside the body and the mind. But like any approach to health, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. The truth is, while many people experience increased energy, sharper focus, and better weight management, others may find that this pattern doesn't suit them. That's because each body carries its own history, metabolism, and sensitivities. Understanding both the benefits and the limitations is key to using this method wisely. For people who are generally healthy, especially those dealing with early signs of insulin resistance or metabolic slowdown, one meal a day can offer real improvements. Studies from the National Institutes of Health have shown that controlled intermittent fasting may help reduce markers of chronic inflammation, improve blood sugar levels, and enhance cardiovascular function. It gives the digestive system a break and allows hormonal systems, particularly insulin, to regain balance. For adults over 50 who struggle with weight gain or post-meal fatigue, the shift to fat metabolism can be especially helpful. However, this approach isn't recommended for everyone. People with diabetes, especially those taking insulin or blood sugar-lowering medications, should only attempt this under medical supervision, as prolonged fasting can cause dangerous drops in glucose levels. Those with thyroid conditions, eating disorders, or a history of low blood pressure should also be cautious. And while many men adapt well to this rhythm, women may be more sensitive due to hormonal fluctuations. Some women report changes in menstrual cycles, increased fatigue, or disrupted sleep patterns when fasting windows become too long. There's also a psychological aspect to consider. What begins as a disciplined routine can sometimes turn into food obsession or fear, particularly if control becomes the main goal instead of balance. That's why experts from Harvard and Stanford emphasize that fasting should be approached as a tool, not a rule. Used correctly, it can bring clarity and strength. Misused, it can create stress and imbalance. Ultimately, the value of eating once a day lies in how it's used, not just whether it's done. When guided by awareness and supported by research, this simple shift can help the body heal, stabilize, and perform in ways many never imagined. But only if it respects your biology, not fights it. At the end of this journey, what remains is not just the science or the process, but a quiet shift in perspective. Eating once a day is not about denying yourself. It is about reconnecting with the rhythm your body has always known, but your modern habits may have silenced. It is a practice that doesn't just change your meals, it changes your relationship with time, with hunger, and with what it truly means to feel well. When you give your body long windows without food, you are not punishing it. You are giving it the rare chance to breathe, to clean, to repair. You are saying to every cell, I trust you to take care of me. And your body responds, not with weakness, but with wisdom. The silence between meals becomes an act of care, not deprivation. It is the pause that allows repair, the rest that invites resilience. Of course, this practice isn't meant to replace joy, culture, or connection. Food is more than fuel. It's family. It's memory. It's love. But when you learn to separate the true need for nourishment from the noise of habit, you gain something that's hard to describe and even harder to forget. A sense of freedom. A sense of balance. A reminder that your body, even now, carries ancient knowledge that no modern diet trend can replace. Throughout history, Fasting has appeared in spiritual practices, healing traditions, and even philosophical reflections. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, once said, "To eat when you are sick is to feed your illness." Across continents and centuries, people have returned to fasting not because it was popular, but because it worked. And now, science is beginning to understand why. It turns out, when we stop eating all the time, the body does not fall apart. It falls into place. So what does this mean for you? It means that if you choose to try eating once a day, you are not stepping into danger. You are stepping into a dialogue with your own biology. You are asking your body what it's capable of, not in times of plenty, but in moments of intentional pause. And for many, the answer is surprising. More energy, more clarity, more calm. But the beauty of this path is not in what you give up. It's in what you begin to hear once the noise fades. The quiet intelligence of your cells. The stillness of your mind. The deep breath of your metabolism, no longer overwhelmed. It's in that space that transformation lives, not always dramatic, but always real. If this video has helped you see hunger differently, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Would you try eating once a day, even for just a week? What would you hope to discover, not just about your health, but about yourself? And if you're curious to go deeper, the next episode will explore what happens to your immune system when you fast. From cellular defenses to natural repair mechanisms, you'll see how this simple practice can unlock more than just energy. It can awaken protection. Remember, your body does not need perfection. It needs rhythm. It needs care. And sometimes, it simply needs you to wait just long enough for it to do what it's always known how to do: heal.